Hello and welcome to Editing with My Wife, now with at least 4 palindromic names. My name is The Hooded Philosopher, and I'm here with Cheesy Loops. Cheesy Loops, what kind of podcast is this?
In this podcast, we want to hear from others about the book you have written.
What's the name of that book?
That is,
Blank.
Problems of Another World.
Problems of Another World. Alright. So you want to get into the recap? Recap tells us?
Recap it up. Alright. In A Shiny Beast, Hannah was playing pranks on the boys. Was back playing pranks on the boys. Bunker leads the way to the Cathedral of Nature that holds their prize. Infiltration ensues. A narrow escape, holding their prize. Trophy. Holding their trophy. Changing words on me on the fly again.
No, I can say that.
Move your cup so I can read. In Hungry Things, ZYG Makes Vegetables. Renner swallows his prize. The twins climb the mountain. A time to search, a time to clean. Otto gets his gift, seeing through others' eyes. And after feeding Zig, they return home to make a plan.
Alright. So we push on.
Doop doop boop boop.
Problems of Another World, Chapter 6, right? 7?
Chapter...
Did I change it already? Yeah, I changed it already. Chapter 7, Four Palindromes.
Hit start recording over
What's a
there.
palindrome?
Start recording.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah! A palindrome is the same, is a word or number that's the same forwards and backwards.
So our chapter here, the Four Palindromes, is where we're going to start. Well, No. So we're going to start with, right here.
When the four made it home, it was late at night.
No.
The boys' parents were in the kitchen getting dinner ready. Otto went in first and gave his parents a big hug. But
Where have you been,
Robert said, shutting the dishwasher. Yeah, where have you been? We were just starting to get worried. Were you at Katy's? Leslie asked.
Mom, Dad, there's something going on that we need to talk about.
Renner said as he was coming around the corner.
You know that experiment you did to open a portal?
You mean the one that got me the Nobel Prize? She said.
Yeah, well, something happened, and now there are 2 Earths.
Renner let out a big sigh.
And on the other Earth, you had 2 girls.
Otto spoke up.
Their names are Hannah and Izzy. Seems like we came up with the names in the same way.
Robert said with a prideful smile. Renner waved Hannah and Izzy in as Otto made the periscope between his fingers, wearing the black rings. He saw that Leslie and Robert were having a nice dinner in a restaurant.
This is your perspective. Well, from the other world. Only something's happening over there, and you're not being yourself. I don't know if they're safe anymore.
Looking through the periscope, Leslie was shocked, but she became even more taken aback when 2 ladies that looked uncannily like their sons walked into their life. Leslie and Robert began to cry as they made their way to the young ladies. They hugged both of them, all the while saying, "I can't believe we have daughters."
I'm sorry, the puppy's being adorable. Let's stop for a sec, because we haven't really talked about what's happened up here, and we're already on, going down.
Mm-hmm.
So...
when the 4 made it home, it was late at night. If it's late at night, why are they getting dinner ready? Do they have late night dinners?
Yes. That sounds about right. That's what I wrote up there.
And Robert is shutting the dishwasher. It sounds like they're cleaning up from dinner. All right. The boys' parents were in the kitchen cleaning up after dinner, after kitchen. Otto went in first and gave his parents a big hug. That feels right.
Where have you been? Robert said, shutting the dishwasher. So, yeah, where have you been? This feels right.
Uh-huh. Mom, Dad, there's something going on that we need to talk about, Renner said as he was coming around the corner. You know that experiment you did to open a portal.
A little bit of gloating.
Yeah, so should you say something about that? Or is it just she said that she got the Nobel Peace Prize? Okay.
Well, Nobel Prize.
Nobel Prize.
Notice it's in the peace.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, something happened, and now there are 2 Earths. Renner let out a big sigh. And on the other Earth, so
There's something about the shock of the parents not being expressed here.
They were. So just give it a second. So, and on the other Earth. So slow that down with using punctuation.
So like this.
And on the other Earth, you had 2 girls. So do that again after and. Is that? I don't know if that's.
That's good. That's good. Otto stutters.
That's Renner.
Oh, this is Renner. No, he would be clear.
He would be clear?
Yeah.
Well, I think he's just trying to slow it down for them.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine too. She's trying to be careful.
Yeah, and on the other Earth, you had 2 girls. Do you see? It's not stuttering; it's hesitation.
It's hesitation. It's slowing down to make sure they're understanding and following.
Yeah. Otto spoke up. Their names are Hannah and Izzy. It seems like we came up with the names the same way, Robert said with a prideful smile.
There's something different here.
I don't think there necessarily needs to be something different. So far, it's not real to them until they see Hannah and Izzy, which they do say. Looking through the periscope, Leslie was shocked, but became even more taken aback when the 2 ladies that looked uncannily like their sons walked into their life.
Okay.
So right now, it's just something. Maybe it's a prank their sons are playing on them, and.
Well, you can't do that. Like just pulling a periscope out of nowhere like that. That's not something you just do.
But when Robert says it seems like they came up with the names the same way, that falls right into that kind of prank area, because the boys were named in palindromes. The girls would have to be named in palindromes as well. So it seems so far like a joke until they start doing this, and then that's when the surprise happens.
It's also same size and same format.
It is the same size.
The same, except for no, because every letter is the same.
Yeah.
Well, it's because it's a palindrome, Tony.
It's because it's a palindrome. You do.
Okay.
So far, this is.
Our puppy's just being cute.
She wants to play. We'll play when we're done. Okay? So, looking through the periscope, Leslie was shocked. But she became even more taken aback when 2 ladies that looked uncannily like their sons walked into their life. So, other than some punctuation stuff here, begin to cry. I think there needs to be an element of like
shock.
There needs to be that pause before they
disbelief.
Right. But then their sons wouldn't just bring in 2 girls that looked exactly like them. So I think no, you can leave that. I think you could leave all that.
Oh, hold on.
She dropped her ball off the bed. Bring me your ball.
No barking on the podcast. Come here. Come here. Come on. You're not even going to go for a treat? Come on. Come on.
She don't trust you no more.
My bigger one.
Leslie and Robert stared in disbelief.
Come. Here she comes. Come.
And then with tears in their eyes, they made their way to the young ladies.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't have to be tears in the eyes.
No, like it's a joyful thing.
Yeah. I hug them both while saying, I can't believe we have daughters. That's a pretty joyful thing.
No, okay, hold on. Leslie and Robert stared in disbelief. With tears in their eyes, they made their way. Hold on. Yeah, okay. Leslie and Robert stared in disbelief with tears in their eyes as they made their way to the young ladies.
She will have none of this.
I know, she will have none of this. Listen, just be patient.
No, we have time to take you to the dog park if we go quickly.
I can't believe we have daughters. Okay, so before he says this, well, what makes you feel unsafe with us in the other world? So, okay, this is the idea I'm seeing. Real quick, before you... Okay.
I just wanted to add one thing.
Okay, you add one thing. But, like, he's hugging her, and then he takes her out of the hug and is holding her by the shoulders with concern in his eyes. What makes you feel unsafe with us in the other world? So
Hannah didn't get the chance to say goodbye like Izzy. Izzy got to kind of like had to deal with her father, but Izzy just sat and watched.
Okay.
You know, couldn't say anything to her dad.
Okay, hold on. Don't get too ahead of yourself. So before he says, well, what makes you feel unsafe in the other world? Like, he breaks the hug and holds her shoulders. Izzy's shoulders.
Like that?
What makes you feel unsafe with us in the other world? Robert asked, holding Izzy's shoulders. Oh.
Oh, we got a dictionary.
Yeah, the dictionary.
Surely there's supposed to be one of those up there somewhere.
It's not you, Dad, Hannah said, hugging him again. Izzy couldn't hold back the tears.
I could also do...
It's me, Leslie asked.
Yeah.
A little more than hurt.
It's just like, she just met these people. Like, it was me?
So, yeah, spell Leslie properly. Do your quotey quotes.
Do all the typing and stuff. So. Alright.
Izzy couldn't hold back the tears. She's calling for the military to get ready for an offensive strike against this world. Hannah said nothing. She felt nothing but eyeing the situation. She surmised that she would be angry about the situation, but all she could muster was a morose feeling. Okay, that whole sentence probably needs to be fixed. Hannah said nothing. She felt nothing but eyeing the situation. So read this sentence out to me and then explain to me what you're saying.
Hannah felt nothing. She surmised that she would be angry about the situation, but all she could muster was a morose feeling. She's not mad at her mom. She's sad about it, but she's not mad about it. She's like right now she should be mad because her mom's a bad guy.
But they do say it's not her. She came back weird. There's something wrong with her.
And there's something going on with Hannah.
Yeah.
Like, it's another thing. Her feelings are out of whack.
And then she says her mother is not who she says she is. So,
come here.
So our mother is not who she says she is. If she's even mom. If she's even actually mom.
Yeah.
So add that to when Hannah says that. Our mother is not who she says she is, if she's actually mom.
I don't know what that's adding.
The idea that maybe it's not mom actually doing this. Maybe it's something else going on, because it doesn't feel like mom. It's not something that mom probably would do. I don't know. I'm just trying to...
Okay.
They don't want to believe their mom would be able to do something to this effect as well.
So, and
Okay.
she seems to have the ear of powerful men and women.
And she seems to have the ear of powerful men and women in high places. She wants to come over here. She just isn't sure how to do it. The only person we know with the capability is Otto. Hannah finished as Renner placed his hand on Otto's shoulder to open the bladder. Renner took off down the hall as he needed to pee. This is Renner's bladder, he said, stepping in. So this is Otto. So at this is Renner, we need to hit enter and put a quote in the beginning of it. Next sentence. There you go. This is Renner's bladder, he said, stepping in. In here is whatever Renner makes it, usually after he pees. Lately he just keeps it like this, but he can do a lot with it. Gestures to the clacks.
Okay.
There's a lot of it auto-corrected your lowercase a capital L to a capital A lowercase l. But he can do a lot with this. A lot with it. He walked over to the other side of the bladder and opened a portal to the kitchen in the other world. Renner and the girls looked around the girls' house for any evidence as to what the doppelganger might have planned. No one else has stepped in. Otto stepped in. So this is Renner's bladder. Quotes. He said, stepping in.
He said after everyone stepped in.
Oh no, you can say he said stepping in and inviting the others to follow.
Except for audio doesn't pass through the portal. So
No.
he can't be inside speaking to the people on the outside.
He can do this. He can gesture his hands in. He entered and gestured for them to follow. In here is whatever Otto makes it, usually after he pees. Veen! Grateful. He just an empty white space all around, but he can do a lot with it. I think this should be changed to it. He can do a lot with this.
This space.
He can do a lot with it.
What is it?
The space.
So he can do a lot with this space. This is it. The it is this space. Where is it?
Right there. You just hovered over it. No, down one. Down one. Right there. This. He walked over to the other side of the bladder and opened a portal to the kitchen in the other world. Renner and the girls looked around the girls' house for any evidence as to what the doppelganger might have planned.
I'm gonna do this instead.
Renner, Hannah, and Izzy looked around the girls' house for any evidence. Okay.
Just to kind of make it... It's probably we should do that instead of the girls and boys.
Yeah.
Otto stayed back in Renner's bladder.
Otto stayed back in Renner's bladder with his parents.
I saw you, Mom, on the TV, on the other side. You wanted to attack and steal all the resources for themselves. As far as they're concerned, we're aliens pretending to be humans, readying an assault on this side, or on their side. They think a premature strike on an invading army.
Okay, hold on. I saw you, Mom, on the TV, on the other side. You wanted to attack and steal all the resources for themselves. As far as they're concerned, we're aliens, pretending to be human, readying an assault on this side. That might feel better.
Yeah.
On this side. They think They think this is a premature strike on an invading army. They need to premature strike on this invading army. They need to... Okay, yeah. They think they need...
Yeah.
Okay. They think they need a premature strike on our invading army. Yeah, that feels a little better.
It's a lot.
It is a lot. This is really bad news, Leslie said, inspecting the edges of the portal. Luckily for us, we have an ace up our sleeve, Izzy said, coming out.
That doesn't make any
coming
sense.
in. What? She shouldn't be able to hear.
Shouldn't know what's going on. That's bad.
Well, you could have Izzy returning after Otto. So that way you don't have to mess that up, because I don't mind that. I like that sentence.
Uh-huh.
So, Izzy re-entering the bladder after he says invading army. Yeah. Izzy re-entering the bladder.
Yeah.
And then Leslie said this is really bad news. So even if she didn't hear Otto's talk on what was happening, she can infer that he's telling her what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily for us, we have an ace up our sleeve, Izzy said. She reached into her pocket and held out a ZYG box. Because, you said Izzy walked back in holding paperwork, so you don't have to say that again.
I did it up there because it fit better there anyway.
I was verbally saying it, not just letting it. His name is ZYG, and he's a friend.
It's a lot.
Okay, so Renner and Hannah walk into the bladder, and then he says that? So, I think this needs to be Otto saying it. His name is ZYG, and he's a friend. Otto wants to go back. So
yeah, you're right.
And Renner and Hannah can't hear this. And then Renner and Hannah walk into the bladder. Hannah now wearing a knit gray turtleneck.
Or
this
just kind of goes here.
And then hit enter.
What do you mean?
Just hit enter.
Oh, because that's easy.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah. Hit enter. Okay. Renner and Hannah walk into the bladder. Hannah now wearing a knitted gray turtleneck with a giant pocket on the front and tan slacks. His name is ZYG, and he's a friend, Otto said. He's here to prevent a galactic catastrophe, Izzy finished. And that's where we were the past 2 days, Renner. Oh my goodness.
That's where we were the past 2 days.
Renner explained.
And we're going back to...
And we're going back to do reconnaissance.
I think tomorrow.
As soon as possible. It's Otto.
It's a mouthful.
It's Otto. To do. And we're going to go back
as soon as possible to do reconnaissance from there.
Otto explained.
So let me get this straight. You met your new sisters and then got beamed up to an alien spaceship where you... What did you do there? Leslie asked. Oh, that's not... I thought that was Robert. My bad. Right, Leslie was the sarcastic one, not Robert.
We've known about each other for years now. We helped bring ZYG back from the brink of...
Death. It should be there.
Death? Yeah. He rewarded us with tools that can help us prevent the coming disaster.
Right here.
Down one more.
So he gave you all a box with a button on it?
Robert asked.
That was Izzy's, Otto said, smile blossom across his face. He gave me these rings, he pointed to the rings, and then looked at Renner and got really quiet. Hannah was feeling sad. She may have to explain what her condition to her parents.
Oh yeah, so hold on. Mm-hmm. Hannah was feeling sad, knowing she may have to explain her condition to her parents.
Her parents.
Quote unquote parents.
Yeah.
They're still her parents. They still look like people she loves. They still act like the people she loves. We just can't verbally say that. I don't mind that.
No, I think it's fine the way. I think it's without the. I think Hannah wouldn't put the captions there.
Her other parents.
That's fine.
Okay. And then change the to 2. Toy.
All right.
Renner spoke up.
I swallowed a gold-covered diamond and was told I'll never have to worry about money anymore. Not sure how that works though.
Then the look of dread appeared on his face, and he ran out of the bladder, into the boy's room, and grabbed his cell phone off the table, frantically calling someone. Which I think is funny, because he's like, in that instant, he's like, oh, and Katy doesn't have to...
I have to think about money ever again. But back here, the dad actually says something, and it just glosses over it.
Because he wasn't in the room.
Were you over it? Yeah, that's right.
He was not in the room.
It just...
Which is why I never said anything about it.
It was perfect timing because of the money.
Yeah. So, I have to know, what kind of hobbies are you into? Leslie asked the girls.
Should I say... no, because I already asked the girls. What kind of are you girls into?
And it's inferred she's going to want to be... She already knows what her boys are interested in. She wants to know what the girls are interested in. Izzy spoke up first. I like swords and boys. Manipulating them, mostly. I could just see her looking up at the ceiling, like... when she says that. I've taken to sewing, and we take care of Common Apostrophe, our little sugar glider friends, Hannah said, opening the giant pocket on the front. Leslie squealed quietly at the sight of the 2 sleeping sugar gliders. Aw, how cute. That's probably a whole lot easier than a massive dog. She said this in a baby talk that people use on small things. Yes, I did not do that because I did not realize that's what it said.
Yeah.
Aw, how cute. That's probably a whole lot easier than a massive dog. It's so funny. I love it. Okay. Otto began urging everyone out of Renner's bladder with the statement, we do not need to make Renner need to pee any more than he already does.
We don't need to make Renner pee any more than he already does. Everybody out. Yeah, you get the idea.
I do want to show you more, but our mother, we need to save her, Izzy said, tears in her eyes. Oh, you got pretty quick with that one.
I get faster at it.
They all walked out of the bladder and walked to the middle of Renner's... walked into the middle of Renner's conversation.
No, I'm so sorry, Kit Kat. I didn't mean to ignore you. Please let me come over and explain.
Renner begged. Then a moment while she talked, Robert and Leslie left the room. Izzy and Hannah hung around the doorway as Otto closed the portal behind himself.
Oh, Kit Kat, thank you so much. I'll be there in an unreasonably short amount of time. I'll see you soon, little bear. I love you.
He's got so many nicknames for her. She said something, then he hung up. Renner looked at Izzy.
You want to see what happens when you squeeze your ZYG cube? I need to get to Katy's fast.
Should we do this inside? Hannah asked cautiously. Izzy put the cube in her pocket and walked to the backyard, passing by their parents.
So where are you off to?
Robert asked as the 4 ran by. Renner stopped at the doorway.
I didn't call or text Katy for 2 days. She's worried sick, so we're going to go and talk to her.
In the backyard? Why don't you take the car? Leslie asked them.
We have a faster way now,
Otto said, following them out. But they were out in the backyard?
I don't know. I do that sometimes.
You like your butts?
I do. And ands and ifs and all that good stuff. Izzy pushed the sides. When she did, the button popped up with a small face that looked exactly like ZYG. Tiny legs made out of the same material as the box fell out the bottom and it began to flail. Oh, hey, Izzy! Where do you need to go?
It said in a high-pitched ZYG-like voice.
Katy's house?
Izzy said, not sure what else to say.
And who's coming with?
The robot squeezed out. Izzy looked around, Otto and Hannah talking about what they were going to do with their parents. I'm worried that they'll learn about me, Hannah said.
I should say Izzy overheard.
Hannah saying.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a good thing for her to do. Was that right?
Yeah, that was right. Sagging?
Sagging.
Sagagging.
Okay.
So Izzy said, "Just me and Renner." The little robot jumped out of her grasp and began to draw a large circle of Zygmus that spilled out of it as it began to run in a circle around them. Okay, hold on. That sentence. They began to draw a large circle as it began running in the circle around them. Because you already said that he is making a circle of Zygmus, so he just needs to be running in the circle.
Bunker came barreling out the back door and jumped into the circle. Oh, and Bunker too, Izzy said. The Zygbot was finishing the circle. As Zygbot was finishing the circle, Otto and Hannah, spelling correctly, watched as Renner and Izzy disappeared. Otto looked at Hannah. What if we took them up to meet Zig? Maybe he could explain it better to them.
Hannah sighed. Well, we can't until Izzy gets back, she said, looking at the dissipating Zygmist.
Okay, so that's where we're at.
That's where we're at. Okay. So do you feel like we need to add... Renner's trying to hurry to Katy, so that's fine. The parents are watching their kids just disappear in a blink. In this blue blink.
Yeah. Should there be something here?
Yeah, I think there might be...
there could be some dialogue more at the end.
Especially too after Renner and Izzy disappear.
So...
Clack, 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 clack.
Robert.
Robert and Leslie came running out to the backyard.
I was coming around the back door.
Okay. So they're kind of watching from the door frame. Robert and Leslie came running out the back door. Robert was holding a fire extinguisher. Oh, that's funny. I would too. Blue light. It has to be fire. This is just all of a sudden blue light. Robert was holding a fire extinguisher. What was the light all of a sudden? Blue light. Oh, you're fixing it.
Oh. Okay.
What was that light? All of a sudden, blue light. Leslie looked at him. The smile of a...
That's not the right word. I gotta come up with the right word here, otherwise I'm being very insulting.
Wow. He's having troubles. But at least there's clack clack, so you know it's not just a malfunctioning sound issue. Okay, what do you want to try to say? Just say what you want to say, and then we'll figure out how to make it less insulting.
I think that's probably good.
Leslie looked at him with a well-worn smile.
I didn't want to say old.
I see.
I think with the old connotation. Like one that she's smiled at him a billion times because he's being a dork and she thinks it's cute.
Yes. Okay, what do you want her to say now? If I had teleportation like that would be so much easier. I mean, you gotta think. She's been trying to make portals to other places. Make travel faster, easier, quicker, whatever. And here is this very sophisticated little robot that just runs around in a circle, blue light pops up, and then poof, they're gone. Oh, yes. Leslie looked at him with a well-worn smile. Is that thing this Zig fellow? I'd really love to speak to him. Clack, 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 clack. Otto paused a second. I think it's them, they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you want to? You did it backwards on purpose. It would be they, them.
Oh, is it? I don't know the terminology all that well.
Yes, it would be they, them.
You know, but you get what I'm trying to say,
yes.
Because Zig is more than one. Like, technically, he's a they, them.
Not only that, but there's no real gender to Zig, is there? Being an entire ship.
I think it's a them, they, because there's more than one of him there.
Okay.
That's technically like billions, but let's not worry about it too much. Probably not billions, but a lot.
Otto paused a second. Technically, I think it's they, them. And no, that was just a tiny version. Something to that effect. Something to that Zig's still on the ship.
What do you... Like, Hannah wants to, like, a little bit chastise him physically for saying it. For just, like, saying it like that. I don't know.
Why would she chastise him?
Or maybe, like, look at him. Giggling is used too much. I don't want to... Hannah can't just always be giggling.
That's fine and dandy, but, like, what do you want? What?
She's responding to the comment in some way, right? That's my thought.
What?
Technically, it's
okay.
a them, they, them. She's responding to that.
So he's correcting the parents.
Yeah.
Would she never do that?
Oh, no. That's it.
Hannah nodded in agreement. Clack, 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 clack. I'm sure he would love to meet you.
No, that's true.
They would love to meet you.
I think I can, like...
Capitalize it?
No, I was going to do this. Goodness gracious, I'm an idiot.
What are you trying to do?
You highlight it and then you let go. You don't right-click.
Oh.
I'm just going to do they would like to meet you.
Why does it feel like they looks spelled wrong, but it's not? I'm sure they would love to meet you. Why is it such a... Why are you having Hannah say it that way? I'm sure they would love to meet you. Just to reinforce?
Should I not stress it? Like, she's just agreeing, nodding. So I'm sure they would love to meet you.
Is she just trying to reinforce?
Yeah,
like,
that's the idea. Does it come off kind of sarcastic?
It does seem like it's coming off a little sarcastic when you do that.
Well, that's why I have you here.
I'm sure they would love to meet you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But you gotta say he's back on the ship because Mom thinks that was him. Right? He's back on the... Can I call it a ship? Whatever is orbiting Earth. With an atmosphere of its own. The parents looked at Otto confused.
Then he's going to say something about why she said, can I call it a ship? Like, it's a landmass. Right? He's going to try and help his parents understand this. Can I call it a ship?
Yeah.
It doesn't technically look like anything we would call a ship.
Uh-huh.
It's just...
So would he explain what it looks like, or would he say... It's the most amazing place with a mountain and forest and a field.
I think Otto's trying to go for funny over.
It's a landmass?
It's a landmass, I think. Yeah. I could leave it there. Does that sound good?
So I think they would continue talking while Renner and Izzy are going to get Katy. They would still have conversations.
That's what comes up next.
Oh, that's the next chapter?
I think this is a nice way to end it, because it kind of leaves them wondering, and then they'll go into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Which we'll have to change a little bit of the next chapter, because we added this into this part of the chapter.
But we need to... there's really no interesting words in this chapter.
Well,
Doppelganger.
There's doppelganger. There is no real interesting words in this one.
Doppelganger is probably the most. What is he saying that for?
Catastrophe.
Oh, the mother, yeah. Doppelganger.
Catastrophe is a fun word to say.
Yeah, it means that cats are coming down to destroy stuff.
Listen.
That's a word I've heard a million times.
I don't know this word. Dishwasher?
Oh, dishwasher.
Isn't that what you are?
Yeah, that's what I am. I don't know. I don't know how you close me.
Yeah, how do you shut a human that washes dishes?
It's a pretty brief chapter all in all.
It is a little brief, and I'm not sure how to bulk it up, if anything.
I don't like the idea of bulking up. Everything I want in the story has a purpose for being there. It's not just filler anywhere. That's my most important thing. I don't want filler.
Uh-huh.
If I have filler, it's going to be in the form of a character with a really verbose language. Or the really verbose lexicon.
Yes.
You know, something that you can really put the words and fill in the whole sentence.
I like how you're trying to get us words that we can do to go Google.
I wasn't. I was trying to use the example in the explanation.
Okay.
Like, the idea is I can be more nuanced with my words because I have more of them, which means I can put more of them on the page, which then will bulk it up. Which you see with Zig. Zig has big words.
Yes.
And you'll see in Draylen, too. Draylen loves to do that kind of stuff. That's in another book, though.
In the other book that
Next
you're working
month,
on.
probably. So let's recap.
Okay, hold on real quick. Scroll down. This is really bad news, Leslie said, inspecting the edges of the portal in awe. Or something to that effect, because she's loving the crap out of this portal thing. That's her thing. Yes. Leslie said, inspecting the edges of the portal in detail. Like,
yeah.
That is her place.
I think this paperwork comes back later, though.
Holding some paperwork.
Mm-hmm. She went and got some stuff from her mom to kind of track her a little bit.
Yeah. Looks like it's very, very important. Yeah. He rewarded us with tools that can help us prevent the coming disaster.
And the parents are very much a character in the story. Hold on! Seriously! I took you out right before we started this.
She just wants attention.
She does, and she'll get some dog park if we're fast enough, yeah. She's got to be patient. No, stay. Not right now.
Good girl. Come here.
Okay.
Come here.
So we can go back here.
Come here.
Recap
it. Puppy! Bandage. Hey. Get up here. That's fine. Grab your ball. I need to put while Hooded does the clacks.
Clack, clack.
Clack, clack.
We love our doggo.
Hey.
We have one of the best doggos in the world.
She is. She's no Russian bear dog.
No, she's not. She looks like a small version of one, though.
Give. Oh, you butt.
Very small. She's tiny doggo.
So...
First thing that happened was...
The return home.
Well, what happened in the return home?
Okay, so...
Returning home, the parents met their daughters.
Yeah. Right now. Get up here. Come here. Come here.
Okay.
Come here.
What's next?
Explanation of...
Izzy grabs...
Doppelganger. Explanation of doppelganger.
Is it...
They do explain that first.
Parents learn about themselves.
Yeah, parents learn about themselves.
I hope the dog clicking noise isn't as bad as my clicky noise. Anyway. And then... Renner forgot Katy.
Renner forgot Katy. And... Renner goes to collect Katy. Little Zig. Little Zig helps out.
Yeah, that's a pretty simple recap.
Yeah.
Lots of exclamation points because
Lots of exclamation
she
points.
forgot Katy.
How could you forget Katy?
How could you do that?
How could you?
Crime against humanity, if you ask me. Someone sweet Katy. All right. That's it.
That's everything?
That's everything.
Well, then,
Goodbye.
goodbye.
Love you.
Have a good day.
Recap.
All right. In Hungry Things, ZYG makes vegetables. Renner swallows his prize. The twins climb the mountain. A time to search, a time to clean. Otto gets his gift, seeing through others' eyes. After feeding ZYG, they return home to make a plan. In Four Palindromes, we have returning home, the parents met their daughters. Parents learn about themselves? Oh, yes. That's a funny line.
It is a funny line.
Renner forgot about Katy. And little ZYG helps out.
Why don't we just real quick, Hungry Things, what were the vegetables and what was the prize that Renner swallowed?
The vegetables were to help them gain strength to climb the mountain and move a bunch of stuff.
And then when they got up there,
He swallowed his little diamond up at the vegetable place, I thought.
He swallows his prize.
Yeah.
The twins climb... That's the point of the sentence.
Yeah.
The twins climb up the mountain and time to search for time to clean.
Yep.
So they go up the mountain using the veggies, the strength from the veggies to search and clean up there. Otto gets his gift, which is...
His rings.
His rings, which allow him to expound on it. Go big here.
Oh, he gets his rings so that way he can see through other people's perspectives. So, based off of his feelings towards other people. So Black is the person he fears most. And... his brother is white, which is interesting. Could it be respect? Could it be looks up to? It's an interesting one. And then we haven't looked at any other colors, but we did speculate pink being love and
yellow being fear. They're pretty obvious. Blue being sadness, green jealousy. So then after feeding ZYG, they return home to make a plan. Mm-hmm. They kind of planned a little bit beforehand about coming back up to use ZYG as a resource, and ZYG is down with it. So they head up and they feed him the special rocks they found and then the crystals to kind of help dispose of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. And then the Four Palindromes, after returning home, the parents met their daughters. So the boys' parents met their daughters.
Yes.
And the other ones are still in the other universe. And then the parents learn about themselves, which is confusing at first because...
It's about the other
parents, yeah.
Parents.
And then Katy, which is pretty self-explanatory. The men, they forget sometimes.
Renner forgot about the love of his life.
And how does little ZYG help out? And who's ZYG?
Little ZYG helps out by coming out of the box and transporting them.
All right, and then we're moving on to the next chapter called Little Dragon Tears. All right, so let's go back to that book. Here's examples of other books I'm writing. This is the one we're working on.
Yay.
My goal of writing a book a month starts now.
Yep.
So get ready. This is going to flood this YouTube thing. Okay.
All right. Chapter 8, Little Dragon Tears. Robert and Leslie walked outside. Okay, so real quick, before we say they walked outside, they're already outside, and Robert has a fire extinguisher in his hand.
Oh, that's right.
That changed
that changed last episode.
Uh-huh.
So, it could just do this, right?
Yes.
I could even say...
This is blowing my...
I could even say putting down...
Putting down the fire extinguisher. Oh, to be fair, blue light just suddenly appearing in your yard is a little frightening.
Not only that, it's his property. He needs to make sure there's no fires.
And his kids are in there.
It's out of nowhere, too.
All right. So, this is blowing my mind, Robert said, rubbing out his temples, putting down the fire extinguisher. I said that with a little more surfer dude than necessary.
I should be saying this. Did my son and...
He searched for an appropriate title for these two young ladies from another Earth.
Daughter? Just teleport?
Hannah let out a smile. Thank you, Dad. I know it can be hard to understand, but I've loved you my whole life. You act and feel exactly like our father.
Oh, well, that probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah, you act and feel exactly like our father.
Exactly like the man we grew up with might be better.
Mm-hmm.
And that might have been what my thinking was.
Oh. Yeah.
What?
Yes, I'm agreeing.
Okay. Hannah met him for a great big hug.
Otto, on the other hand, decided at this moment to look through the black rings, where he saw the most terrifying thing. This really lent to the power of the black rings. He watched as the man he knew to be Hannah and Izzy's father was repeatedly stabbed by the woman he thought to be his wife. Otto let out a scream and closed the periscope. He had collapsed to the ground in waves of grief. He just said it quickly. "Mom killed Dad!" The next moment, his father sitting next to him. "Look at me. I'm fine."
Standing.
Why not? Why? Oh, okay. Well, no, it's squatting.
Kneeling, yeah.
Kneeling next to him.
That's better.
Yeah. Because he wants to get down.
And he fell down, so the father should be down there.
But not kneeling. Thank you.
Look, I'm fine.
Otto looked up to see his father's eyes. Robert wasn't fine, though. He fell back, legs giving out beneath him. Otto was on his feet, worried. Had he actually seen his father die?
Let me put something.
Otto was on his feet now, worried. Had he actually seen his father die?
That he had actually seen his father die.
I see.
Like, holy crap, maybe that was my dad.
Yeah.
Like, for a second.
Yeah. Let
me just do this, because I think italics actually works there.
Worried that he had actually seen his father die. Weeping atop his father, Otto has lost himself? Has lost himself.
Sorry.
Weeping atop his father, Otto lost himself is enough. To me. Had lost himself in grief. The pain became overwhelming. Hannah walked over to them and placed her hands around Otto, easing his pains with feelings of contentment. It's hard to say without trying to say contempt.
Contemptment. You can have contentment I'm sure.
Isn't it just like one letter difference? Contempt. Oh, it's 2 letters.
Contempt.
Yeah. It was working until Renner and Izzy appeared back on the lawn with Katy in tow. Renner ran over to Otto and held him. What happened? He searched the others for answers.
Oh, I should specify that's Renner.
That is Renner. Well, no, you don't necessarily.
Unless this.
Renner is the last person to be up there.
Oh, that's the wrong word.
Yeah. Renner is the last person mentioned, and...
Yeah, it's more like the problem was this. Let me just get it right. Renner ran over to Otto to help him. What happened? He said as he searched the others. Yeah. He asked as he searched the others.
Yeah.
Or just he. Yeah. Jeez.
Cheesy feats. He was looking through his black rings, Hannah started. Then all of a sudden he was screaming something about Mom killing Dad. And then he collapsed as he was standing over him when he came to. Standing over him, that's where you needed to know. Standing over him.
Her father.
It's not her father, and that's... No. Stop for a second. Slow down. That's not the words you need to change.
No.
When he came to is fine.
No, it's her father.
Stop.
It's actually apt here, and that's the problem. I'm maybe not saying. What's the next thing he does? It is.
Okay.
It is.
He's standing over him when her father...
Without realizing it.
So who's she standing over?
Her father.
Okay.
Like the man he grew up with, in a way.
Right, but standing over him when her father came to could be either Otto or her father. That's the problem.
Otto and...
Okay.
He was standing over them.
Okay.
Little dragon?
He said, as if he knew her by that name.
Why are you crying?
Otto was finally a hold of himself when his father held him close and explained.
I am alive, Otto. I'm the one you saw happen to. I don't know how, but when he died, it's like I am him now. He and I are safe in here. What you saw happened, but I'm safe. Robert stood up. I remember our camping trips in the summer to the lake. My little mermaids loved those trips, he said to Hannah, the memories welling up in her eyes. And Otto, Renner, I won't ever forget the trip to Paris. I remember you loudly shouting at that mime, "Why won't you talk to me?" after he didn't say hello back. Oh, they were laughing. No, that's not.
They were laughing now, relief setting in. Okay, real quick, they were laughing now, relief setting in.
I think I get what you're getting at already.
Yeah, it's not relief, but confusion and... Okay. Okay. Clack, clack, clacks.
Okay, it says...
They were laughing now, a strange sense of relief mixed with confusion.
Mixed with the confusion. Sorry.
Mixed with the confusion. He was looking for an answer, but everyone was agape. Hannah felt him. She felt her father. He looked into Hannah's eyes.
I'm so sorry I didn't listen, Angel. I'm just so sorry. That should be Izzy.
I told you that.
Yeah.
But he looks at Izzy.
Yeah.
But he's not saying he should have listened to her. He's looking at Hannah saying, I'm sorry I didn't listen. And then he looks to Izzy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay. His eyes then locked onto Izzy's. Izzy wasn't just crying. Izzy was angry. You just couldn't trust me, could you? Izzy spat. Instead, I had to trust an alien in a box I got in a dream.
An alien box.
An alien box I got in a dream. At least it came through for me. Izzy felt Hannah's nagging in the form of love for her father, so she left in a huff. La la la.
Izzy turned around saying, at least it came through for me.
Why is she turning around? What is so important?
To head in, she's leaving.
Okay.
And then she left in a huff.
You didn't spell around right? And turned.
Trund.
You want Troon to be here.
Troon should be here.
Everything is going to be okay,
So,
Hannah insisted.
Hold on. I'm watching an episode of Star Trek.
Uh-huh.
And for those of you who don't know, I love Star Trek. And in this episode of Star Trek, they land on a class of planet they call Demon Class, which is just inhospitable to human life. It's a planet that nothing can live on that's human.
Okay.
And they go down there and they find this silvery liquid metal that's full of resources they need for their ship. And when they touch it, it copies them.
Oh, yeah!
It's like, is that where the seed of Troon was found? Anyway.
Could be.
Yeah. I do love Star Trek, and that would seep in. Anyway. I was wondering if I should say that out loud. I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm just talking about something I like. I'm not so sure, the dragon said. I'm not so sure the dragon usually stays around as it spits fire. I think she's really hurt now. Yeah, there's plenty of better ways to say that.
Everything's going to be okay, Hannah insisted. I'm not so sure. The dragon usually stays around after it spits fire. Now, I think she might... I don't think you need now. That's the part I'm not getting at here. Getting from here.
So I'm not so sure. The dragon usually stays around after it spits fire. I think she might be hurting.
I really think she might be hurting.
Robert reasoned.
You know how Renner has his bladder and Otto has his periscope? Well, we have abilities too, also. Izzy's the winch. I'm the anchor. I'm the anchor, which means that the emotions that I feel are shared with everyone. Izzy would never hate you because I could never hate you. Leslie laughed loudly. That explains why it seems so much like you boys began your period. How old were you? 11? You two would have some of the wildest emotions for no reason. She finished laughing. Renner and Otto looked at Hannah, who nodded sheepishly. Then they all had a good laugh. I'm gonna go check on Izzy, Hannah said, getting up and then walked into the house. Why are you laughing?
Because the next line.
Oh.
They forgot about Katy again. I mean, it's understandable.
Renner looked back and saw Katy standing in the same place, visibly shook, her bright red lips quivering and knees shaking beneath a simple blue dress. Bunker was licking her hand. Renner walked over to her. Is everything okay? He asked her, looking into her eyes. We teleported here, she said, astonished.
Yeah, and then we have a scene split, which I didn't mark down by doing this.
Hannah was busy inside the sitting room with Izzy. Do you think he's dead for good? Izzy asked. How could he be if we're talking to him now? If he was not, he wouldn't know you as Little Dragon.
That's
Hannah.
2 sentences. That's
okay.
2 arguments. Sorry.
Hannah argued. I wanted to save him. I wanted him to hear me. I want him to understand and trust me. Her head was in her palms. He's out there right now. You should tell him, Hannah encouraged, putting her arm around her sister. Feeling of love doused the anger that burned inside Izzy. Really quickly, Hannah's doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
Something should be noted, at least by Izzy.
Does Hannah know she's doing it?
Okay.
It comes up.
Okay.
I don't just leave it. It makes sense in the future. Hannah's going through something right now, and it takes a while. It's like halfway through the book it starts to actually like really affect things.
Well, and the thing is it seems right for it to come back here a little bit because
and it's really strong.
Everybody's in distress, and she's used to when everybody's in distress to help.
Kind of the point before, she wasn't feeling the anger she knew she should have been from her own mother. Something was wrong there. Like she was talking about, was all she could muster was a morose feeling, some sadness for it having happened. She couldn't feel the anger from her mother. She's realizing something's going on with her emotions, but this is happening because of the intensity of the situation, I think. Mm-hmm. Or there's another reason. I'm not 100% sure what I wrote. Beautiful.
Okay. You're right, Hannah. I love him, and I should spend the time I have with him, Izzy agreed. Okay.
Yeah.
So Robert's going to say something here in a moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very, very important. It seems he's very much about words and not so much about time. I should spend the time I have with him to talk with him.
You're right. Where are we?
Up a line. There you go. The time I have with him and talk. Or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Because Robert's always been about words. Every time we've talked about Robert so far, it's been about words. The boys said it. The girls are saying it.
Yeah, and I said it about myself. So I just went.
I should spend the time I have with him telling him how I feel.
Izzy agreed. Words really are true magic, Rob, and that's the perfect time for him to step in.
Yeah.
Like that's the words he needed to hear to make sure everything was okay.
Yeah.
Words really are true magic, Robert said, stepping into the sitting room. If there's one thing that I believe, you four understand it. If there's one thing I believe, it's that you four understand it.
Yeah, you need to put your quotes in there. Liquids.
The relief from the words.
Yeah, you kind of messed that one up.
The words really are true magic, Robert said, stepping into the sitting room. If there's one thing that I believe, it's that you four understand that. The relief from the words passing by your lips changes me. Izzy ran over to her father and gave him a big hug. I'm sorry, Daddy, she said before shoving her chest. Why I wouldn't set it up to do that.
Clack, clack, clack.
So go ahead.
So Izzy running over to her father needs to be entered.
Well, I'm still a little bit.
Yeah. So take away the quotation marks. Man.
Okay.
Take away those quotation marks.
Why?
Because he's still talking. The relief from the words passing your lips changes me.
There you go.
And then now, after that, enter. As you ran over to her father, gave him a hug. I'm sorry, Daddy, she said before shoving her face in his chest and sobbing. And Hood is clacking again.
I'm so sorry. That's the thing I was typing.
Say it. Speak it.
So I'm sorry too, little dragon. I'm so sorry.
Robert leaned into the embrace, gently crying at the relief. They walked outside to another emotional bomb. Okay, I know what's coming up. And I don't know how to make this feel a little less rushed. So.
Okay.
Nope, hooded.
We should read it so that they know what we're talking about before we just jump into it.
Take it away.
You want to do the whole thing?
No, it's mostly Renner.
Okay,
So.
that's true. It's true. I guess I could just say it. Renner's hands were shaking as he pulled out a worn-out old piece of paper out of his pocket. Renner was smiling at Katy. Izzy was shaking also.
Izzy was shaking?
Why did it say that?
Yeah. You want Katy?
I feel like that got...
Katy was shaking also.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Clack, 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 clack. Renner's hands were shaking as he pulled out
A worn-out old piece of paper.
a worn-out old piece of paper out of his pocket. It's a whole lot of out.
As he pulled a worn-out old piece of paper out of his pocket. Renner was smiling at Katy.
At her is fine.
Or...
At Katy. She who was shaking also.
Who was shaking also, but that's because she had just teleported. She just teleported? She said reverently. Did I just teleport? She said reverently. Yes, Katy, we did, and we're going to do so much more. He reached into his back pocket and produced a ring made entirely out of diamond. Then he got onto one knee. He was looking at the paper. I wrote down words. I wrote down words that I wrote before the risk in my life was such that my own and the lives of those close to me fell into danger. He tossed the paper to the ground. If you'll have me, I'd like you to join us on this journey. The past, present, and the future are so full of risk. I know that. I know that the risk is going to be easier to take you with you. Will you marry me? He said he felt a little shame for not discussing this with his family, but that was quickly pushed aside by the excitement of all around them when they hoisted him to his feet and put the ring on her left finger and simply said yes, and then gave each other a passionate kiss. The whole family congratulating them.
Okay, stop. This whole thing has so much going on to it that we need to work it out. I wrote down words. Right there. Start with I wrote down words that I wrote before.
I know. I like my point here is that he's going to be flustered, so I need to write that in here.
Okay.
So what if we slow it down and we say I wrote down some words.
Okay, I wrote down some words that I wrote before the risk in my life was such. Okay. See, this is feeling better already.
Oh, I already have that there.
I wrote down before the risk in my life was. He's adding more. So that my own. Okay, so that I wrote down before the risk in my life was down. So that my own. Risk in my life.
I wrote some words down. I wrote down some words. I wrote it before the risk in my life was.
I wrote it.
I wrote them. It's multiple words.
Okay.
I wrote them before the risk in my life was. So.
You already have so.
I know.
Okay. I'm eating peppermint.
I have no idea how to spell this word.
You're close.
Or it. Never mind. So he says I wrote down some words. I feel like I could do this too.
Okay. clack, 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 clack. Clackety clacks. Don't talk back. Boo.
I wrote some words. I wrote down some words. He fumbled to unfold the paper. I wrote them before my life got so precarious.
So that my own and the lives of those close to me fell into danger. But wow. Just so you know, he's all over the place. Back and forth on the same lines.
This is it's complicated.
It is complicated because it needs to be fixed so that way it makes...
It doesn't have to make... The problem is it doesn't have to make sense because none of it matters. He's talking about this piece of paper. He wrote some words down before everything got out of control. Mm-hmm. And now things are out of control and...
But if my life and the lives of those close to me fell into danger... He looked at Katy. Oh my goodness. He looked into Katy's soft eyes.
I know, that doesn't quite come out right.
He looked into Katy shocked.
Not quite. She's aware of what's happening. You know, that
no,
like a deer in a headlights.
The shocked eyes is from the teleporting.
Yes.
So there's still some shock in there from the teleport. And,
eager.
And then there's this excitement too. Shock and excitement all in ones.
And then he says, I need you. And he tossed the paper to the ground. If you'll have me, I'd like you to join us on this journey. The past, the present, the future are so full of risk. I know that risk is going to be easier if I take you with me. Will you marry me?
Is going to be easier with you by my side.
Just with you, maybe.
To be easier with you.
I know that risk is going to be easier with you. Will you marry me? Your problem with this is it comes out of nowhere.
It's starting to feel better.
But the whole point of it is he's look at it. Look at the situation. Mm-hmm. Everything's going to crap, and he loves this girl, and he's been with her for years. And he loves her. I mean, he's 18, yeah, but some people, they get it that quickly.
Well, not only that, but, like, the girl's dad just died.
Yeah.
And
it's
then,
like all feeling so real.
And then his consciousness teleported to his dad, and now his dad is not only his dad, but the girl's dad in one body. And that can happen to any of them at any time, but the thing is Renner doesn't have anybody on the other side to go to come back to Katy. And no, it's starting to make a little bit more sense, because in the time it took for Robert and Izzy to, like, reconcile and come back together, he's realizing that at least he wants to do this with her. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, it makes sense.
Like, it's just
your writing of it was a little...
No, of course it was. He's fumbling out at first, and then he just says it.
It kind of feels like you
says it,
fumbled at it at the keyboard more than
that's because he's fumbling at it. I don't know what he would say, because he's not sure what he would say, because the words would all kind of overlap each other, because what he's trying to do here is an intense thing to do. And there's no Hannah right now, you notice. No tamping that down.
Oh.
And she's only handling the real big ones.
Yeah.
And it has to happen at certain times. Like, if Otto didn't have it, he would have died. You can't just see your mother stab your father and feel good about it.
That amount of trauma. Okay.
That's huge.
He felt a little shame for not discussing it with his family, but that was quickly pushed aside by the excitement of all of them.
And then it also gets Otto out of the funk instantly. Mm-hmm. Like, his dad's back. Everything's okay. The guy died over there, but he's over here, and the girls still have him. They didn't lose anyone. Everything's kind of... Whew, it was bad, but this kind of brings it down a little bit, you know? Mm-hmm. It's really like pumps it back up. Yeah.
So he felt a little shame for not discussing this with his family, but that was quickly pushed aside by the excitement of all of them.
Well, maybe there's a little bit of Hannah there, too.
Okay, hold on. This sentence is not good. But that was quickly pushed aside by the excitement of all.
By the excitement all around them when she hoisted him to his feet and put the ring on her left finger and simply said yes.
And then gave him a passionate kiss.
And...
Yeah, gave him a passionate kiss. It's fine.
That's not what I wanted to do. Actually, didn't mind doing that.
Oh, Jeezy Pete. Oh, my brain.
Too big.
Oh,
sorry.
brain.
Sorry. There we go.
Nope, that's still too much. Tamp it back just a titch.
One more notch.
Hey. All right,
Oh,
and now
whoa.
keep going.
What the heck? There we are. I don't know how we got. I guess I was going up and down.
Yeah, you want to enter that a couple more times before you
spoil the rest of the story.
Spoil everything.
You guys can freeze frame it if you want to, I guess.
Know the future. Renner's getting married. Otto blurted out, and then
it's more like Renner's getting married.
Okay.
It blurred out. Then
blurted out. The excitement really exploded as Hannah was so encouraged by the good news.
Yeah. So there it is.
Let's have some champagne. I have some champagne. Let's celebrate, Robert said as he walked into the house. Everyone was excited and chatty.
Robert came back out holding a bottle and several champagne flutes. They celebrated gleefully. Why don't we just go to Vegas to get married? Katy asked, then looked at Renner. That's a long drive. Are we up for it? He laughed. Yeah, because Katy said both. Katy pulled out her cell phone and texted her mother as Izzy squeezed the ZYG into existence. Where do you want to go, Izzy? He asked gratefully. Do you know where Las Vegas is? Izzy asked back. I sure do, it responded pleasantly. Then let's all go, Izzy said. The family gathered close together. They began celebrating by going to a fancy restaurant and sat for a meal. Renner pulled a $100 bill out of his wallet and handed it to the host. They brought them to a table where they ate like kings and giving generously to their patrons. They went to a show that Katy had always wanted to see. They spent a week exploring and spending wildly. Needless to say, they made it there. Renner and Katy got married. Poor Katy had no clue what she was getting herself into, but she was ready for whatever came her way. A few days later, and one luxurious, if brief, honeymoon later, they were all back home when they all got together, including Robert, Leslie, Katy in the backyard. This is how we contact him, but it's also how we get up to him. She pulled the box out. Everyone hold hands, she instructed. When we're all holding hands, Izzy pressed the button.
Okay, real quick. This paragraph.
We could talk endlessly about having fun in Vegas.
We can, but there's a few things that we want to point out. Through his and ring entirely made of diamond is insane. I love the idea.
And it just kind of happens. You can say whatever you want. He swallowed the diamond. He gets money. So ring made of diamond, whatever.
But his feeling of it and pulling it out, he's not even thinking about it. But when they go there and they sat down at the restaurant and he pulls a $100 bill, he was giving $100 to the host. He needs to get the table. He needs to think about it for a second and then hand it over. It needs to be there like, holy crap. This is what it meant. I don't know. I think he realized it when he felt the diamond ring in his back pocket. Like, he just gets it. Otto doesn't need to understand his. Hannah doesn't really need to, she does, but it's a different thing. There's a curiosity.
And Izzy didn't need to understand hers.
There's a curiosity, though. There's gotta be. Like, how much can I really pull out of my wallet? You know, I feel like there has to be something. He has no reason not to trust Zig entirely in this case. And Zig said you'll never want for it again. And that's what's happening. He just gets whatever he wants. This is how you never pay taxes. Just pull money out of your wallet randomly. And you never know where it's coming from in reality. It could be being created, pulled out from a different timeline. Who knows? I don't know. To me, that's what it feels like. But this does go a little fast. I get what you're saying, and there could be something nuanced in there that I could try and pick up on. This is kind of a different thing too. And they began by
No, that was
Okay.
never mind. They began celebrating by going to a fancy restaurant.
Okay, before that, the family gathered closer together. Mom can't not be excited about teleporting. This is what she's been trying to do. Her whole life's work is this.
You're right, and that comes up later with Zig. She asks Zig questions.
That's
She
fine.
like prods at Zig.
That's fine, but something to the effect of, I get to actually teleport with this. Like I get to experience this. Something to that effect. Yay, nay, or
I don't know. It's a good idea. I'm just trying to figure out how to implement it. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what the dialogue is. What would be fun? Something funny that she could say.
something along the lines. I get to see this teleportation thing firsthand.
Yeah, but
Not there.
hold on.
Holding.
I have an idea.
Okay. A Nobel Prize of study, and my kids get to do it first.
So something along those lines, right?
Gosh. Yes, that is great. And all it is a box with a button. All it took.
Takes.
I keep putting it in the
It's kind of like the daughters had it right. You know, she should have had the daughters.
Yeah, but she had the daughters.
Is it studying, or is it just study? Nobel Prize of study, and my kids get to do it first. And
a
all it took
Nobel
was-
Prize worth of studying. I feel like would be better placed.
And my kids get to do it first, and all it took was a box with a button.
And she's not saying this with sarcasm. She's saying
No.
this in awe.
Like, holy crap!
Okay.
No, a little bit of a, what do you say? Sadness in it.
Uh-huh.
Like, I wish it was me hitting the button.
Yeah. They began celebrating by going to a fancy restaurant for a meal. Renner pulled a $100 bill out of his wallet and handed it to the host. Someone's got to say something about the $100. They brought them to a table where they ate like kings.
We could make this a scene. I just felt you could slip past it because there really isn't much to say, but there's a bunch of things to say about money, isn't there?
There can be, but I feel like it's going. I feel like out of his empty wallet and handed it to the host. Wish it wouldn't do it. Oh my gosh. Do. Clack, clack, clacks, and no talking.
That is the third time in a row I put LE instead of EL.
All right. They wanted to show Katy what she had always wanted to see.
I mean, this is no small decision Renner made. I mean, he's been thinking about it for a while. Either. Also.
No, go back to the show line I was just saying.
This?
No.
Oh.
Giving generously to their patrons. They wanted to show Katy what she had...
They wanted to show Katy what she had always wanted to see. They spent a week exploring and spending wildly. They made it to the chapel where Renner and Katy got married. Poor Katy had no clue what she was getting herself into, but she was ready for whatever came her way, whatever she could do to help the love of her life. A few days later, and one luxurious, if brief, honeymoon later, they were all back at home, and when they all got together, including Robert, Leslie, and Katy in the backyard...
Okay. They made it to our chapel.
And then this just goes here. A few days later, and one luxurious, if brief, honeymoon later, they were all back at home when they all got together, including Robert, Leslie, and Katy in the backyard. Izzy pulled out her box.
Hold on. Pulled out a box, and then she pulled out a box down here.
Oh. Well, the reason why is because I wanted to put this in there.
With the box.
Yes, but that's the reason why that's there is because I just moved it.
No, that's fine. With her box in her hands, she said, or something to that effect. Then you can have that line there.
A few days later, this is how we contact him, but it's also how we get up to him. I need to actually move this. A Nobel Prize worth of study, and my kids get to do it first. And all it took them was a button on a box with a button.
And all it took was a box with a button. He deleted the lowercase l only to put back a lowercase l.
Didn't even notice, too. Busy thinking about another thing. Leslie joked, excited at finally doing the thing she had worked.
Now, she transported to Vegas.
Oh, shoot. That could go after Vegas,
and
too.
that could go before Vegas.
Well, it could go after Vegas. It could go right where it is. It just has to be a different context. I had the wrong context. You're right.
No, that's fine. This is fine right here, like it is.
No, this is different. They're going up to ZYG.
This is going up to ZYG, but she can't be excited about being able to do the things she's been trying to do because she's done it once. But she can't be excited. She can be excited to go learn how it was done or talk to the person that enabled it to be done. Those are fine, but you couldn't say that sentence, excited to finally do the things she's always wanted to do, because she did it once, at least.
Whew. So, a Nobel Prize worth of study, and my kids get to do it first. And all it took was a box with a button. Leslie said, excited to talk to the person who had done the thing that she had been trying her whole academic career to accomplish.
2 C's.
It's accomplished. Accomplished.
Horrible movie.
Excited to talk to the thing.
To the one.
One
Yeah, to the one who did
the thing she had been trying to do her whole academic career. There you go. That's a fun sentence to put there. And it really means something about what Leslie's feeling.
Don't show off the next bits.
Yes. No more bits. Okay, now we need to do the recap. Back to recap. Look forward to pure uncut magic. We're really enjoying it.
Ooh, there was a work in progress under there. It said evil magic.
Evil magic. Look forward to that in next year.
All right, so Little Dragon Tears.
It happens so fast. Everything happens so fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're doing something and then boom, this thing, and then Katy comes and then boom, this thing. It's so great. Gotta keep the story moving. This book is not boring. There's constantly like something happening, right?
There's a fine line between keeping things interesting and keeping and doing
setting
things,
a pace.
Yeah. If you move too fast on certain things. Now the way you framed it with Renner, it's fine. You framed it as in he doesn't even think he's gonna make it to the next month.
Yeah,
so much
that was
is
my
going
point. It's like everything's collapsing for him.
Mm-hmm.
He can't feel his sister anymore.
Yeah.
He's lost that and maybe he doesn't need it if he has Katy. And that's true. Katy can be his rock.
And the girl's his dad. Yeah. Anywho. So recap
and then
is
death.
Yeah.
Oh. That kind of comes out of nowhere, and I think that's the reason why I have it in there. Is because I didn't want it to just like be another scene of a family in a backyard. I wanted something to happen, you know?
So first thing that happens is Earth 2 father dies.
Infra. We know the term ahead of time.
We do, they don't.
Yeah,
Infra Earth.
but you'll learn it. It'll be said a lot.
And comes back.
Oh, you're right. Maybe we shouldn't use the terminology.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can do this.
Girl's dad becomes boy's dad too. Boy's dad becomes girl's dad too. It's a boy's dad's body.
I kind of think it works either way, though. I'm pretty sure it works either way.
I'm
like,
sure. I don't know why you whispered that.
If my left hand is replaced by my right hand, it's now a right hand, even though it's on my left. It's my right hand.
No, it's now your right hand.
What are we talking about? They're the same thing.
But in my brain, it makes more sense.
I'm gonna change it. That's what I'm gonna do.
Because right now it's the boy's dad becomes the girl's dad. Because the girl's dad's body is no longer.
Okay. I don't know that it really matters. That's what I've been saying.
Boy's dad becomes the girl's dad too. Katy teleported.
Izzy's annoyed.
Izzy is annoyed.
Izzy's annoyed as Katy returns. Well, Izzy's angry.
Izzy is a field of emotion because she's sad. Her father just died, so she's in mourning. And
because none of them have their anchor.
Okay. A wedding happens.
It's
before Katy's return. I don't think Izzy's angry before Katy returns. Izzy and Katy came into the scene at the same time. Izzy went to go help get Katy.
But Katy doesn't really show up in the story until everything's resolved. Like, okay. So before it's just the wrong way.
Yeah. Izzy angry and Katy returns.
Izzy angry!
And
Izzy smash!
Okay. I'm sorry I keep poking at this. But what did Katy return from?
Return is the wrong word.
Return is the wrong word.
Katy teleports.
Yeah, Katy teleports.
Okay. And then the last one.
Renner pops a tough question. And...
A wedding in Vegas.
Well, no, what about preparations to... Because the last thing they do is prepare to go up to the ship. Teleporting again. And again.
It's wedding in Vegas ends in teleport. a wedding in Vegas.
Edding.
Report.
A wedding in Vegas.
Wedding in Vegas. Report to
ZYG.
ZYG. All right, that kind of tells it all there, doesn't it? All right.
Yeah,
That's the thing. That's a thing for sure.
that's a thing.
Right.
A very weird chapter.
Well, be sure to look at Cheesy's Pokemon on her shorts.
Oh
Everyone
yeah,
loves
I
them.
make Pokemon.
Little tiny ones. Cheesy loops.
Loops.
Well, yeah. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. If you're listening, well, if you're not listening, thanks for not listening. Live your life. I love you. Bye.
Bye.